So like they want to come and intimidate you because you know something about what benefits you're entitled to. Oh, we better stop him knowing that. She's a she's a vampiric bitch, man.
Well, it's not even her. You know, that's assuming that that's her that's written it or said that. I bet she had nothing to do with that. You know what I mean?
Probably not.
Well, if she didn't and they've printed it, everybody likes money. That's liable, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's put it. They've put it in print, and it's not true. She's got the right to sue. So by leaving it, by the assumption that, you know, that it's true then. Because everybody would be suing. If anybody said anything untrue about you, you know, and printed it, you've got the right to sue them.
Yeah, but what if you don't know how? Or you
Done that, so.
Well, I doubt she doesn't know how.
They've done it in the metro. When I got arrested when I was in London,
Yeah.
when I came back to Manchester and I read the metro, it said that so many people had been arrested on this demonstration. And one of them, a 17-year-old from Manchester, and I was the only one who was 17 from Manchester who got arrested. They said that I had a knife.
What a load of shite, man.
I think there was nothing to do with that.
Yeah, just so they could creep in
just
their
totally
little
lie.
powers.
Totally lie. The newspaper.
You should have sued them.
What the fuck?
You should have sued them. And they were. This is why, when they've created this system of poverty, what they're saying is, you have no remedies to law. We'll give you a law. It allows you to come in.
Was it plausible denial?
Yeah, but you don't have access to it because you're too poor to get access to it. Even to write on a piece of paper, get stationery and a stamp.
You got to remember, I was 17 at the time.
Yeah.
I was just intimidated. You know, when I read that, I just thought, a bunch of fucks chucked it. You know, I didn't think, I could sue him or anything. I didn't know that.
No, but you still can because it's public record and it doesn't matter. How long ago was it now?
More than 3 years ago.
Right, well, you can still sue them even under statute. You got 6 years, 7 years under statute, and then the rest is common law. So if it's caused you injury, loss, or harm to your reputation, anything like that, it's common law, mate. They haven't got a fact. In fact, it was a blatant lie. If they can't prove that there was a knife there by any means, you know what I mean? Then you just sue them. Even now, you just turn around, write them a letter and say, I remember at the time, and go online if you haven't got the thing. Go online, get a copy from that date.
Well, they charged me with aggravated trespass.
Well, what's trespass? Were you on private property?
Yeah.
Whose?
It was Fortnum and Mason's.
Right.
Which is a shop, so technically.
There is no victim to that.
No
That's
victim.
a corporation.
Makes no sense.
It's not necessarily, it's corporate property, but that's not necessarily the same as private property because they've made it open to the public and therefore its general use is for public to travel through, and you was using it for that reason.
Just because it was on a demonstration and there was mass stuff. So they just thought criminal. Arrested everyone in the building.
There's people that have to wear masks to get their face restructured. Are they bad people?
No.
So anybody wearing a mask is not a criminal by that definition, because a criminal has to have done something to somebody. Wearing a mask has not done something to somebody.
Peter, check the goalkeeper who had his fucking head.
Yeah. He had to, is that a criminal action because he's wearing those things that they use, those stereotypes? You know what I mean? Based on what? Fear? Based on the fact that they can manipulate public fear and say, look, here's a dangerous kid, 17, he's got a knife, which wasn't true. If they'd have just stuck to the truth of the matter and said, oh, he was wearing a mask and he went and he did this and that, it just doesn't look good enough for their type of story that they're promoting, because there's an agenda. They use those stories to create the atmosphere of fear and crime and say that there's so much fear and crime that we the police now need to have weapons because look, even 17-year-olds are carrying knives and all that stupid shit. A complete lie. Fabrication of things, going into court and lying about what's taken place just so that they can make money off it. Nothing else. The whole job of the police is if they don't find crimes, what would happen? If there was no more crime ever, would we still have a police force? And if we didn't have a police force, what job would they do? Since all of us are still trying to find jobs, because jobs by other companies and things don't really exist because of what they've done to the system. And the fact that automation has removed those services forever. We're not going to get people working in those services again if machines can do it and reduce the cost to the company. No way.
It seems like that, doesn't it? It seems like there's 10 million police and one citizen now, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's like saying, well, we should all be police then, and all try to fight, and then the police can arrest each other because when they're out of uniform, they're civilians now. Let's find a criminal.
The police, there's no fraud squad anymore, so that's our job now. We're the fraud squad, isn't it?
Yeah, but where's our powers? Where's our money? Where's our equipment? I know we have access and the right to access all of these things. And every time they cut back and deny it, they're saying, you can't write a letter no more. You should not be writing notices and trying to get your right because we'll stop you. And they have not even been mentioned in these things, but it's clear that it's a conspiracy between every area of government for them to do that. And they do it in the time frame that if you send out a letter last week, by this week, they're responding with another agency. Yeah? And that's that separation of powers where they're trying to say, oh no, it's plausibly deniable that this agency's got nothing to do with what he said to these people because it's a different agency. But as we know, they're all linked and they all share information and they all read Facebook and all the rest of it and they're fully aware of what's happening to their system. They're shit scared. They're scared that they'll lose the golden goose that they've been living off. But it's time because money cannot keep going up forever. Inflation can't go up forever. We don't have infinite anything.
We've got living proof of that now.
The table's laid and the golden.
The first jobs that should have gone is the jobs in government because they're the ones that caused the recession. Nobody outside of that caused anything. They was there to make sure that doesn't happen. And turned around and said, oh, it's a recession. Who made that decision? Who decides when all of a sudden we're in recession? What was it like a month before? They're using the lack of money to say, well, oh, majority rule, these people who are earning money have the right to eat the poor. Because that's what they're doing, innit? They're consuming from the poor in order that they themselves can eat. That's eating the poor. So who's the real zombies? They said that the poor were the zombies, but the real zombies is them.
They're certainly fucking out our brains, isn't it?
And making victims of us so that they can charge victim costs when there is no victim. A victimless crime, an invention and a fiction and an imagination.
What speed cameras?
All of that. Victimless crime. Yeah, that's why us having powers and stick it in their faces, we got just as much right to do that.
Well, they would claim it's crime prevention, wouldn't they?
Well, so are we. We're preventing crime because we know all the criminals now are there.
Saying that you didn't observe the speed limit. Why was I driving approximately near the speed limit?
We're breaking the speed limit already, though. You just said it before, Kev. The cup is moving. Do you know how fast this planet is spinning? And how fast the galaxy is spinning? We're already breaking the speed limit. Send a ticket to God. Send a ticket to God. Yeah? He's breaking the wind limit, the speed limit on the wind. Listen, don't talk foolishness. All you could do is advise me and say, listen, you might hurt somebody if you do that in certain circumstances. But if there's nobody there to be hurt by it, like the other day I saw the police on TV and this guy's driving or travelling or whatever with his hands behind his head. Yeah. And at quite a stretch of road, he's just got his hands behind his head. And because the car's travelling in a straight line, they're saying, oh, look at him, the crazy guy. He's not got his hands on the wheel. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Like, it was such a huge crime. Nobody got hurt. And it could have just been dealt with, that was really, really stupid. That wasn't responsible, was it?
And if he didn't stretch his back at that point, he might have had a crash anyway because he would have been distracted by the...
Well, your back can seize up and between your head and your feet is your spine and your spinal column and your nerves. And if they can't move because you got cramp, then you are going to have an accident. So you could look at it like that. But it's the fact that they were just exaggerating and acting, because that's what they do. They act and make out like it was 10 times worse than it wasn't. Oh, it's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. They just happened to catch him at that moment doing that. You know what I think they are? They're spies. They're spying on people. And as you know, surveillance of people like that is a criminal activity by them. They don't have the right to be spying on people's private lives and all that, but they do this. Like when that woman, the thing yesterday said, oh, well, you have to get permission to have a camera.
Well, I'm speaking.
They're so
All
brainwashed.
speed cameras and all the CCTV cameras.
Who gave permission for that?
Technically belong to us, innit?
Exactly. Did we give permission for that? No. Why haven't they taken all them cameras down, sold them, and given us some public services instead? Because I've never seen anything been sold by them cameras. Nothing. Even the riots. How many people did they say was so-called rioting?
I don't remember.
It's bollocks, man. It's bollocks.
Enough already, I can't take it anymore.
I think we should move on to something a bit.
That's a lifestyle. That is something that you have that responsibility to be. It's different.
I wouldn't say there's much of a difference between a foster father and a father. It's the same. Is that what I'm saying?
If you're,
Would you say that that's a universal truth? Like the word father brings to people's mind a set of behaviours or actions that we could say, oh, that's universal. Everyone thinks like that. Everyone thinks that this behaviour makes you a good father. Everyone thinks this behaviour makes you a bad father, and so on. And so based on the information we have, we act according to the role that was given.
I couldn't say whether everyone thinks that.
Or you make your own decisions for yourself, and you decide what makes you a good father or a bad father.
Yeah. So it's nice when you got it on a tripod. I just put a bit of blue tack on the top of my tripod and just stuck it in a big piece of blue tack. When it's on a tripod, it looks nice, man. Because all the movements are nice and smooth. Yeah. Obviously, when you're doing it by hand, you have to hold it a certain way.
What I see is nothing but a man who's given up.